So I want to thank you for joining me. My name is Cheryl Pederzoli, and I'm on the marketing team here at ProSites. And today we're going to be talking about 6 ways to keep your patients happy and attract new ones. So there's going to be 6 main ways we talk about: building your online presence, having a strong reputation, using financial fears for your patients, your availability, how to build some loyalty, and then also how you can use automation to make all of this work better. So let's get started with your online presence. Your online presence is really made up of 3 different things. It's having a strong website, it's having good directory listings, so if somebody searches and all those little listings that pop up, having your name show along with a lot of good information, and it's having a social media presence. So let's start with your website. You want to make sure that your website shows the best you. Even though that you may think, I don't need it, I've got all these loyal patients, even loyal patients, even the patients you have, go and look at your online presence before they come visit. They might be looking for a phone number if they can't find it. They might be looking for hours if you don't have, or if they need to call after hours or anything like that. So it's important to make sure that your website's your best self. So the way to do that is to make sure everything on it is current, it's clear, it's easy to read, it has all the most important information on it that people are going to look for. It's simple to navigate. One of the things that we find where we talk to dentists who are just unsure about their website is a lot of times it's because it's just older. It hasn't been updated in a while and it looks that way. So trying to just update little things, put on a current picture, make sure you have a picture of your practice or all of the providers within your practice. All of that helps to build a presence and make you look more professional. Now the next most important thing is having your search engine business listings. These are going to be the listings that show up when somebody searches on dentists in a certain area or even on your own name. Typically they show up before website organic listings. On this you can see where that little map is. It shows up before all of the other listings show. This is really important because if you have good information in your listing, it's going to help not only to have backlinks that come to your site and help improve your credibility and your visibility, but it's also going to make sure that you stand out when somebody is comparing multiple providers. For example, if you look at this one, this dentist has complete information. They have their hours on it. They have directions, and they have lots of reviews. So this is an important thing to make sure you do. There's lots of places, Yelp, Google, Bing. You want to make sure you get all of them updated. And then the third important thing you want to do is make sure you have a strong social media presence. A lot of people say, oh, why do I need social media? Well, the truth is your social media presence is used in many cases when people are trying to refer a friend of theirs to you. They'll say, hey, I just was out there. You got to go check out this doctor. So it's important for that reason. It's a great way to collect reviews. You can also use it to interact with people. You can show photos, you can show your personality, you can tag people who come in and visit and want to be tagged. One of the things that we do is we, at trade shows, hand out these little signs that say things like, best smile, and those signs we actually encourage them to take pictures with their patients and tag people on social media. And it's a great way to help build that presence, make your practice look like you're more of a person than just a company. Now, the next important thing to look for is your reputation. Your online reputation is all those different ways people can perceive you when they look online. 88% of customers consider online reviews just as important as a personal recommendation. This is a great thing for when you have people who are coming in from a new place and are looking for the dentist in a new location and you just don't know anybody yet. You know, there's a lot of benefit from it. The other important thing to see, if you look at the search listings here, is that all of these review sites are actually showing with the stars and the ratings. So it's important to make sure that you've got good information on all these sites and that you understand what those look like. Now you may ask, how do I impact this if I have a bad one? Well, there's some things that you can do. You can try to encourage people to give you reviews by putting up signages in your office. You can have links off your website. You can have your office staff say, how did it go? Would you mind leaving a review for us on Yelp? We're trying to build up our profile. You can also put links to the reviews in your emails, and in some cases there's reputation management services also available. Now, what do you do if you've got people who've actually posted about you? Well, this is just as important. You want to respond to those reviews for a couple of reasons. Positive reviews, you want to thank people. This is another way where online you're starting to build that relationship with people by being there and listening to them as they talk. The other thing is if you have negative reviews, by responding to them, you're actually able to help limit the impact of these bad reviews by putting something on there that says, hey, I'm really sorry you had a bad experience. I'd like to make it up to you. Or I'm very sorry there was something exceptional going on that day. What it does is allows all those other people who are looking to see that and understand that you hear, you acknowledge, and you want to correct situations. One of the important things to do is understand that for everybody who does complain, there's so many more people who don't complain. So if somebody says something, it's really important to listen to that and say, oh, this is going to impact more patients than said anything about it. So listen to those reviews online and see if there's something that you need to do to adjust. For example, if it's one person who complains about something, probably not anything you need to worry about. If you get 2 or 3 people who complain about the same thing, definitely something that you want to go and look at because there's probably another 50 people who didn't say anything about it. So learn from your online reputation because it's going to make you a better practice. It's going to make you more responsive. So the next thing that you can do to help win patients and keep loyal ones is to help ease financial fears. 90% of patients think dental work is expensive. That's probably not a surprise to anybody here. But 91% are more likely to continue seeing dentists who had a conversation about the cost. So even though they think it's really expensive, if you open up and you talk to them about it up front and they understand what they're getting into, they're still most likely to keep going and seeing you and getting those procedures done. So what makes that up? Well, pricing transparency. People have to pay more out of pocket than they ever did before. So tell them up front, what are those costs? What are they going to experience? Look at the insurance plans that you accept. Are there others that you should be accepting? Will that actually open up the door because other people be covered when they come and see you? It's important to show people what kind of insurance that you do have. And then if something changes, let them know. I've actually experienced this where I had a provider who went from in-network to out-of-network. They never told me, but all of a sudden I got a bill and the amount came skyrocketing up from what it used to be. And I look at it and I question, is it worth it for me to keep seeing this dentist when I know I can go somewhere else and spend less money and get the same service? So these types of things are really important, making sure that you keep using the insurances that your patients are using. And then last, financing. 63% of patients are more likely to choose a dentist who offers a financing option. There's a lot of different ways to do it, but make sure that you show that to people. Put it up on your website, put a sign up front. If they have to make a decision about whether or not they get something fixed or even a cosmetic procedure, knowing that financing is available might actually push them to do it, whereas otherwise they may have said no. Now, the fourth thing is availability. And this is made up of a couple things. It's making sure that you're available. A lot of people are looking now to see if dentists are available. Dental practices are popping up all over, and that's one of the things that they're using to bring more people in. Weekend hours or evening hours. Patients also need to know if they're trying to call in that they're going to be able to get in. So this is one of the trends that we're seeing in the industry is people having these later hours. The other important thing is to make sure that you're on time. So if you find that you're getting your whole entire day, every patient is later and later and later, it might be worth it to actually see 1 or 2 less patients a day because the marketing cost that you're going to spend to try to replace these patients is going to be more than what you would have lost by just having 1 less patient a day. So it's just one thing to consider. And this is the type of thing that turns a patient off. If you're always consistently late, they're more likely to leave you and go to another dentist. So one of the fun things you can do is some little tricks to help build loyalty. Patient Appreciation Day. This is fun. It could be a monthly day. It could be just kind of a random day that you select where you do little things to surprise and delight your patients. A bag of goodies, throw in some extra toothpaste, whatever little thing is that you can do for them. Now, the benefit of this is that people will actually talk about it. They'll be happy. They'll tell their friends, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what happened when I went to the dentist yesterday. They'll share some information out on social media, potentially increasing your reviews and getting you more patients and better loyal patients just by doing some little things. Another idea is to give some gifts on patient anniversaries. You know, if you've been here with us for 10 years, that's huge. Let's celebrate it a little bit. Let's see what we can do to make you feel a little bit more special. One of the other recommendations is direct mail. A lot of people are moving away from it. They're not doing it. So when something comes in the mail now, it stands out. You could send a birthday card, a thank you card. Maybe that's what you do for that patient's 10-year anniversary. Little things make a big difference in trying to build a relationship with people. Another idea is if somebody refers a patient to you, that person who's been referred, offer them a free consultation, and then you could actually do a thank you gift to the person who made the referral. Whether it's a little gift, whether it's a gift card, or a complimentary service, if there's something inexpensive that you can offer. There's a lot of little things that you can do that make a big difference. But the last thing I want to talk about is trying to automate all of this. So there's a lot of different ways that you can communicate with your patients and try to really build that loyalty and try to encourage new people to come in, either because they've seen your online presence, they've visited your website, they've seen your reviews on one of the review sites. But the challenge is there's no way for one person to do all of this work, not unless you have a really, really tiny practice. So there's solutions out there that will help automate it. You guys probably are using something for phone calls. That seems to be the most popular one. But nowadays, you can also do text. You can have phone calls, you can send emails, and they're all HIPAA compliant. So there's solutions available that will actually do this. You don't have to worry about any of the HIPAA concerns that you might have. The other advantage to a solution that incorporates multiple medias is that if somebody has a preference or if they don't respond to a certain format, you can actually start to get them in a different way that they do respond to. For example, one of the doctors that I've seen recently, I got a phone call, but it just goes over to my voicemail, and I'm very bad about answering my voicemail. But now I'm also getting emails and texts. And the text, I can just reply back and say, yes, I know I will be there, and I'm done. There's a lot of ways to help make sure that those patients come back to you. So you want to fill your seat, you want to make sure that they show up on their appointments, but then you also want to call people back and use these for recalls. Say, hey, you're due for a cleaning, make sure you call and schedule an appointment. Another thing that you can do to really help increase loyalty and automated solutions help is try to stay in touch with your patients between appointments. Some of the recommended ways of doing this is having a newsletter, sending out periodic emails. So, for example, maybe you're supporting an event or it's, National Dental Month. There's lots of different things that you can do. So you can send out emails or you can send out texts if you have that available to you, send out postcards. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So an automated solution helps to make that go easier. So we talked about 6 different ways. There's some key takeaways that you guys hopefully caught from going through this presentation. If you can improve your loyalty, you'll improve your profitability. We've actually done a lot of research, and we've got a white paper coming out soon that's going to really talk about the fact that if you can retain your patients, it's significantly more cost efficient than having to actually market and bring in new ones to replace those. So you want to be upfront and honest about your costs and the treatment plans. You want to make sure you provide a consistent, excellent experience from your website to interacting with your staff, and then their experience in the chair. You want to make sure it's seamless and consistent throughout. You want to ask your patient for their feedback and listen to it. Using online review sites is a way to do this. Another option might be send out surveys. You can use those automated solutions to send out email surveys after somebody's come into the office. You want to be social online. Being social is going to allow you to build a two-way dialogue, show your personality, build a presence, and help to not only keep the patients you have, but find new ones out there. You want to really show that you care, and by doing little things, that's going to not only bring in the patient, but it's going to show that it's going to bring in a better quality patient. If you do discounts, if you do promotions to bring in patients, that patient's most likely going to jump to the next dentist when they do the same idea, when they do a discount or they have a promotion. And then you want to keep an ongoing dialogue with your patients throughout the year using automated communication tools, sending out emails, doing phone calls, all the different opportunities that we have. So I'm going to open it up to questions. If you have any questions, like I mentioned before, there should be a box with a question mark in it. You can click on that, and you can send that in, and I'll be able to capture that. And this presentation will be sent out to everybody afterwards. So this link in here, we've got a guide out there right now called the Definitive Guide to Online Marketing for Dentists. This will actually be a hyperlink when you get the presentation, so you can download that. And we do have another white paper coming out shortly that I'm going to make sure everybody who's on this presentation is able to get. Hopefully it should be out next week. And that's really going to talk more about measuring your patient loyalty, the value of your patients, and many of the things that we talked about today as far as trying to keep patients in your office and bring more in. We did get through most of the main part of the presentation, so if anybody does need a drop and doesn't want to sit through the question and answer, now's an opportunity to do that. Okay, so I do have one question in here. The person is asking about online review sites and how do I provide feedback to online review sites. So if you look at Yelp or Google reviews, we should have the screen put up, but generally when you're looking at those, there's an area in there where you can claim your business. A lot of cases it's a button on the screen. You go, you claim your business, and when you do that, it gives you the opportunity to respond back to people. So you want to just keep monitoring all of those reviews that are coming in. Whether you do it on a regular basis and have somebody always watching, or once a month go out and take a look. That's up to you and how active it is. But it's a good idea to keep an eye on that and encourage people to put more positive reviews out, especially if you start to see that you've got a couple of negative ones, or maybe you've had a couple of negative ones for a while back. A few positive ones will start to bring that overall grade up for you. Okay. And looks like that's all the questions I have for today. So I want to thank you for joining us, and we were able to keep this within our half-an-hour limit. If you have any further questions about anything, you should be getting a message from us tomorrow with a link to the presentation. Feel free to reply back and ask any questions that you have there, or visit our website. We've got a lot of great information out on our blog also. Thank you very much.